Hey everyone, this is Norm from Bear Bull Traders. Today is July 17th, 2018. I haven't done a recap in a while, so I wanted to do one for today. Might be a little bit longer than normal because I'm also going to kind of discuss my journey over the last 2 months or so quickly, just to see if I can help anybody out that's new to the chat room. We've had a lot of new members come in recently asking questions and such. So anyway, as far as today goes, Teva looked like an opening range breakup. On the first minute, you can see that it came and formed this pattern here, this tail, and this tail was telling me that it looked like it was going to break up. Came into the second minute, was going up. I got long around VWAP. It didn't work out. I saw this come down. It bounced, so I held on to it for a second, but once it struggled and couldn't get above VWAP, I went ahead and closed this out for a minimal loss. Not a big deal. My second trade was AMD. AMD was a good one. AMD was a little tricky, choppy this morning. I went in with a half size, and it looked like another opening range breakup. Maybe I just had kind of the jitters from the first trade not working out, having an opening range breakup and not catching it right. But anyway, it looked like it was going to break above VWAP. So on this ABCD or flag right here, I went ahead and went long. I took a half position. This was around 32.14, I believe. It came back down. I saw it touching VWAP. I went ahead and took the other half of the position to get a full position in there. It didn't look like it was going to break through. So took that, and it played out just like it looked like it was going to. Followed this 9 moving average, started scaling out. Each one of these was hitting a new high a day. I might have scaled out too much. We were waiting for it to hit and or break previous day close. Right here at 32.72, I closed. I had a little bit of shares left, and on this last pop, I took it out. Obviously, I could have gotten a little bit more profits there, but it was a nice trade. It made my day. And then I'd already made goal. I kind of was done, but MU looked like it was going to had this engulfing at the open. It's a trade that Andrew called out as well, and he took. It looked like it was going to try to bust through VWAP, come back up. So I took it here at 43.68, I believe. These wicks came in, and it looked like every time it hit VWAP, it was selling off. I wasn't super comfortable with it, so I went ahead and got out essentially at break even. Took a tiny profit right at VWAP since it looked like it wasn't going to work, and sure enough, shot back down. Ended up going up, but I would have definitely gotten stopped out in this mess for a bigger loss. So called it a day at that point. Now, what I was talking about, trading journey, something we all go through. Everybody's story is a little bit different, and you cannot. It's when people come in the chat room and they ask, "How long did it take you to become profitable? How long should I expect this to happen?" Everybody's different. Robert talks about this in one of his latest rants, and Robert on the side has been a bit of a mentor to me, helping me through a lot of the psychological stuff of day trading.
What's up?
And what he himself has done. So one of the things in one of his latest recaps was this: compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. I think that's one of the hardest things people see as they come to the chat room. They see Andrew or watch his recaps on YouTube for a while before they join the chat room. They see this guy's making $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 plus a day, like religiously. And it's taken him years to be able to get to that point, to be able to get green. And he has intuition. He moves fast. It's something you can't do out of the gate. It takes time. When I first started doing this, I day traded as a hobby for 10 plus years prior to this. Had a full-time great job, and it wasn't until early May of this year that I started day trading permanently, full time. So when I first went in, the day after the first day I started day trading, I was trading full size positions like I had before, which I usually was scalping or some swing trades too previously, but it was scalping, and I didn't have to take a trade. If I was watching the market and I saw something develop, I could take a trade every 6 weeks and be fine because I had an income. But once you have the stress and the psychology problems of being a full-time trader, it is a vastly different world. And that's why we talk about going in the simulator for 3 months minimum generally. Some of us have different opinions. So when I was good the first week or so and started losing money, I was like, I realized I had to learn how to trade consistently day in and day out. And I couldn't do it the way I was doing it. It wasn't going to work that way. So I'd read Andrew's book along with many others and joined the chat room, started learning, went to a sim account for a while, for a couple of months. And personally, I think it's important to trade real money too, in extremely small share sizes. So when I went to a sim account, I tried to be honest about what I was trading and how many shares and everything else, but it's hard to not treat it like a video game. You have these hotkeys. You can press a button and literally instantaneously be filled for, $400,000 of a position of something, get out 10 seconds later and make $1,000 or $2,000, and it's just not realistic. You don't have the psychological aspect. It's important to do sim, but there's certain things you cannot learn there. So I went from that and was successful and went over to trading real money and was trading share sizes like Andrew does. And that's when it hit me. I mean, I was losing. I was getting stopped out. It's death by 1,000 cuts. You start stressing out over the amount of money you're losing. And yeah, your profit target might be, let's say, $400 if it gets all the way to that goal, and you stop out losing $100. Great risk to reward. The problem is when it's real money and you haven't done it before, you freak out and you change your stops. You've got to make strict rules on those. So I talked to Robert. Robert helped me immensely by saying, dude, cut your share size. Work with a small, the point isn't even to make money right now. One of the things he's talked about too is, have your goal be, let's say, 6 months break even, a year have a living wage. It may be faster for some people. It may be slower for some people. It may never happen for some people, to be completely honest. You never know. That's the scary part about this. But psychologically, you need to work in small baby steps. So I had taken some pretty good losses like everybody else has, gave your skin to the market, paid your tuition. It wasn't overwhelming. It wasn't a massive percentage of my account. I think it was, mid to high teens of my account size over a month or 6 weeks. And finally I said, I talked to Robert about that. I have got to cut my position size. So I cut my position size essentially to 10% of what my actual account was. I pretended that my account was 10% of the size that it really was. So that was August, and I kind of came in with a refreshed idea of what's going on. Now, these are percentages of goal, so that would be 1%, a factor of 1 on this would be 1% of my imaginary account size. And you can see I turned a corner. If I don't have this, I didn't start doing this until August 1st. July would have been a mess. June would have been ugly as hell. But you can see, and I can see the growth in my trading, and it goes back to comparing yourself to who you were yesterday. So August 1st, you can see I took a small loss, and then I started slowly, my goal, a great days, it would be a 2.0 on here, double your goal, that's 2% of your account size. How fast can you grow an account at that as it compounds over 6 months or a year? So, as you can see, though, the month got progressively better. I went on a nice long green streak of 10 days. Took a small loss. break-even day, and then I've been back, and here's September. And along this way, twice in August, after another thing that Robert mentioned was, if you have 5 green days, bump up your position size by 25 shares, 50 shares, whatever you think it may be that'll work for you. So I bumped up my position size by 25% the first time after about 5 green days on this green streak right here. And then it got bumped up again right here, took a little hit, so I just maintained it. I would have reduced it had I had more problems. And then you can see I took a week off and came back, had a nice streak. I didn't want to increase it on a Friday. So I increased this morning again by another 33% on share size. And it has done a huge, huge service to my trading to start small and build up as you have success. It may take you a year to get to your full size. It may take you 2 years, but you're making money and not losing money. It's psychological, and now you've got the money at play, and you're not stressing out and sweating when a stock drops 5 cents, even though it hasn't hit your loss. It's going to happen. And if you're paying commissions and ECN fees, and you're losing trades because you're stopping out earlier than your plan set up and doing that, then you're going to be out of business. It ain't going to work over the long term. One last thing I want to mention that's immensely important: DAS risk controls. So we use DAS Trader Pro as our platform. Most of us do. And for a long time, a lot of us would hit max loss, go over it, keep over trading, lose more money. It's happened to me. It's happened to all of us. And Robert was the first one to institute this that I know of. I know there are other guys that did before him, but he's been a huge proponent of this. There's a form in DAS that you can actually set up that if you lose more than your max loss, if you lose, let's say it's $500 in that day, you are shut off. You would have to call them. I have not had a max loss day since that happened because I know it's going to happen, and I don't want to get shut out of my trading. So I watch it more carefully. It's not playing like it's a video game. It's thinking thoroughly through trades more. It helps in more aspects than just shutting off your account. So if you're trading, and if your platform has risk controls and you're new to this, set them. Don't hesitate. Yes, it sucks to be stuck and watch your trading platform say you can't trade again. It's a lot better than losing 3 times more money than you did than you had to. So anyway, P&L for today. Like I said, Tabai took a small hit on. MU got out for break even essentially. AMD made my day. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. I hope it wasn't too long. But take care. Safe trading.